Hey, what's up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to a special player review here on FIFA 17. Let's have a little look at the premium SBC David Luiz. So of course the first thing you notice is that he is a position change. He's not a centre back. He is a default centre defensive midfielder. He's 90 rated and a member of Club 80. All of his stats above 80 as you can see. He's 6'2", high medium work rates, right footed with the very average 3-star skills and weak foot. So a couple of different squad options and position options for you today. The first one is in a CDM spot with my Premier League side, and I think he would fit in absolutely brilliantly here with the likes of Kante and Pogba around him. But I also tried him out as a centre midfielder in a 4-3-3-5, so a false 9 formation with other players from the Premier League, the Serie A and the Bundesliga as well. And I've got to say, I really liked him in this centre mid spot, and we'll get into the reasons why later on in the video. So taking a little look at his in-game stats, of course there's lots of green dotted about because of course he is a member of Club 80. All of his stats on his item are 80 and above, which is just fantastic. Makes him so usable everywhere in my opinion. He looks amazing on a basic chemistry style, but I decided to boost his two lowest stats with a chemistry style today. I've used Hunter, so he's now a 94 pace and 88 shooting player with his other awesome stats on his item as well. So moving on then to the pros and cons for the player. Now the clips for this part are going to be split into 4 different sections. 1, his defensive responsibility. You're watching that now. The tackles that he's made for me. 2, attacking runs that he's made for me. 3 would be the shots that he's taken which haven't gone in, and then finally a bunch of goals that I've managed to score with the Brazilian. So we'll talk about the negatives first and get them out of the way. The first 2 negatives are relating to this guy feeling somewhat clunky from time to time, and that is that he's got low balance and relatively low dribbling stats. So I wasn't expecting much from these 2 departments because of course, let's face it, he's normally a centre back, but it's something that you guys should know about for sure, and that sometimes he does feel quite clunky on the ball. And then finally, in terms of defensive responsibility, there isn't much of it, to be honest. I have tried him at CDM and mostly at centre mid, I have to admit. But I just think he's better positioned there because he has high attacking work rate. He has medium defensive work rate, which means that, well, he likes to push forward. And if you are going to use him as a default centre defensive midfielder, find that he will be out of position way more often than he is in the right position, which is definitely a problem for you. So moving on to the positives then, this is not a negative review in the slightest. I absolutely love this David Luiz, and I think I would go on record to say at this point in time of the game, he's the best box-to-box centre midfielder I've used, for sure. He's ridiculous. I've never used a midfielder that has scored so many goals, even when I'm not really forcing the ball to him. It's crazy. Nearly a goal-to-game ratio is just nuts. The first thing I noticed was that he's actually a very quick player. You know, for someone that is very tall and a bit clunky, like we mentioned earlier, I wasn't expecting him to be so quick. But his pace is awesome, actually. You see it right here. We just burst past people and they can't catch up. It's mental. And then, of course, like we also mentioned, he is a nice, tall and strong player on this game. You know, you can use and abuse the LT button with this guy for sure. Like, strength is not an issue. You hold off your opposition's midfielders and defenders with absolute ease. What I really like about Luiz is how aggressive he is. Now, we've mentioned that he doesn't necessarily have great defensive responsibility, but what I mean by aggression is that he's always running. He's literally never stops running, and it's not necessarily running towards the player to make the tackle. It'll be running towards the player to close the play down, to put people under pressure and make them play a dodgy pass or something, and he's great at that. He's really amazing at that. You'll have seen a lot of the attacking runs that we went on with David Luiz. Now, he's amazing at doing that as well, and it's weird because I've also mentioned that he doesn't have great dribbling. So what you get with Luiz is someone that just takes these super long strides, and because his pace is decent, he is actually able to run past defenders. Now, you've got to think about it. You've got to sort of pre-plan the little route that you're going to run on, because you almost need to take a touch in advance to get around the defenders, because his dribbling isn't that amazing, but it's very good for what is a default centre-back on this game, even though now he is this midfielder item on FIFA 17. The next part I love about David Luiz is his long shots. You're actually seeing the goals that we're scoring with him right now, and some of them are absolutely fantastic. This final one here is an absolute banger. What a goal that is from the Brazilian, and he's got that in his locker. He has a ridiculous shot on this game, and probably the best positive that I could give to this guy is that he is just such a fantastic all-rounder on FIFA 17. I literally think I could play him at centre forward in a false 9 if I wanted to, and I could definitely move him back to centre back in game for his, because of the stats that he's got in his defensive role. So an amazing player, great all-rounder. Do I recommend him? Yes, I really do. I think, as I've said, he's the best midfielder on this game that I have used so far this year. Let me know, guys, if you've managed to do the SBC David Luiz and what you think about him down below in that comment section, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.